Living out your dream day, week, year or life is way more achievable than you think. In today's video I'm going to prove that to you through a really simple and fast exercise that anybody can do with a pen and paper or with a laptop. Unless you want to live a life like Dan Bilzerian, then I don't know what to say. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can win a copy of this book, The 4-Hour Workweek. It's at this stage people generally question this realization and say, I don't have enough money or I don't have enough time. That's a fair argument, but do you even know what you're arguing against? Do you know what you don't have enough time or money for? Do you know what in your life is acting as a barrier to molding this life that you really want? If not, I suggest you keep watching. Tim Ferriss, the author of the book The 4-Hour Workweek, I have it here somewhere, there you go, says that people don't want to be millionaires, they want to experience what they believe only millions can buy. The key word here is believe. They believe that only millions can buy them what they want. Yes, you might not have the money to buy a super yacht or to fly to space like Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, but at the end of the day, us mere mortals can live just as satisfying, if not more satisfying, a life if we understand what it is that makes us tick. Tick. To help us understand this, we are going to do a really simple exercise. We're going to map out our dream week. Why? Because it's a really fun thing to do. And unintentionally, it will help us map out what our schedule might look like when you are at your best self. And in most cases, I think you're going to realize that it's closer than you realize. We only have a couple of rules. Rule number one, you have to go into immense detail. You really need to visualize everything down to as much detail as possible because it will help you really understand what it is you want. Second thing is that you need to pretend money is not a problem. This way you will truly write down the things you want as opposed to the things you need. Finally, number three, what we want to do is we want to map out a normal week of our lives. One that you're living most of the time. If you want to map out another week where you're walking on water or exploring Atlantis or something, you can do that, but try and do this one with a degree of realism. Okay, here we go. Let's start. So, let's start with the weekdays, alright? Let's let our imagination go wild then for the weekends after. So no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I love getting up early. I might put in a TikTok here about people getting up early because it's funny.
I've got this old saying, it goes like, you're up before the birds or you're a massive piece of fucking shit.
I walk into the bathroom, I brush my teeth. I get on my gym gear, grab my electric scooter, because I love an electric scooter, and head to the gym. I like working out early in the day because, well, I don't need to be worrying about it for the rest of the day. I do what I need to do in the gym, hit a few PBs, pathetic back squats, and I'm back home for, let's say, 7:30 in the morning. One thing I really want in my bathroom is a cold plunge pool and a sauna. Dreaming really, really big here. And I love the feeling after like hydrotherapy. So let's say I have that at my disposal and I get them done along with the 3 S's. Shave and shower. Not that I really have anything to shave, but anyway. Okay, after doing all of these things without waking my girlfriend up, I jump on the bed, realizing that she has been awake since my 6 a.m. alarm. I say sorry. Next up, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to block this time off to make coffee out of my very fancy coffee machine, enjoy the aromas, enjoy the taste. Coffee is my guilty pleasure. I once tried to give it up because I was getting these midday crashes, succeeded in weeding myself off it, and then I decided that I liked it too much, so I was going to go back on it. Okay, back to my dream morning. Let's say I work out 3 mornings a week and do this exact routine. The other mornings, I am going to skip the gym, legend I am, and do my plunge pool and the likes, and grab my electric scooter and head to the nearest cafe to grab my rocket fuel, i.e. coffee, and spend some time doing a bit of reading, okay? I'm currently reading this, The Richest Man in Babylon, I was going to say of Babylon. Good read, highly recommend it. If you want to know what it's like, let me know what you think. And either way, I am back at the house for 9 a.m. Okay, that's always going to be the case for all of my weekdays. Okay, let's go for the actual days itself. So regardless of whether I have money or not, I'm always going to be involved in a couple of projects and on the go. So ideally on Mondays, I'm going to spend a couple of hours checking in with my team, do a deep dive into investments, startups and other companies. Tuesdays I'm going to assign to developing content like these videos or writing. I'd love to write a book someday, so I'm going to wishfully stick that in there. I'm also a big fan of golf, so I'm going to golf twice a week. let's say Wednesday and Friday morning. Now, you wouldn't quite be a traditional golf wanker without getting a bite to eat afterwards, so I'm going to put that in. And on that note, actually, I am going to go out for lunch every single weekday and meet a new person every weekday. So I'm going to stick that in. A good friend of mine told me recently that Monday is a mindset, so I'm going to turn Monday into my favourite day and arrange to meet my friends for dinner in the evening time after work. I also like cooking. I'm a big fan of Dishoom's Chicken Ruby, which I've been trying to do but failing miserably. I'll put the recipe of the page up here. So I'm going to schedule in 2 nights a week where I cook because I want to. I am a sucker for a games night. Bit of a loser in that way. I just love the competition and getting people a little bit wound up. So let's set that during, where do we have? Hump day, so Wednesday. Thursday, let's do a takeaway, a quick 5-a-side, which is just a game of soccer to run off those calories, and then finish off with a relaxing evening of reality TV. Friday, let's go for some dinner and drinks. Tuesday, we're going to chill. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this, so let's fill up the rest of the week quite quickly. Afternoons, I am going to put in a few events that I'd like to speak at. What events? I have no idea, but I love the buzz of speaking in front of a crowd or a group of people, so I'm going to put that in there anyway, manifest it myself. And let's put in some more deep work and other bits in the meantime, and set aside some time to learn a new skill. Now, one thing I'd say here is that it's important that this skill is going to be work related. In one of my other videos, I talk about how to organize your mind, defining your pillars, and drawing a mind map. I'll link it here. But one of my pillars is education. And learning about things within your job is great, but developing a new skill like an instrument or a sport or doing a language is one of the most gratifying things you can do. I'm learning Spanish at the moment, struggling big time, but improving week by week. So I'll keep you updated with how that's going. Ali Abdal talks about this a lot. He says, do things where you go from 0 to 1 as opposed from 1 to 1.1 or 1.2. And I'd fully agree with him on that one. Okay, we have a couple of gaps left in the week, so I'm just going to fill them in right now with free time. Okay, it's nice to have a bit of free time here or there. Okay, great. Weekdays are now completely filled, so let's swiftly move on to the weekend. I am going to keep this simple on weekends because weekends are going to vary a lot. Let's sleep in on both days. I like a good sleep in. Saturdays, let's put that in for an activity with my friends. So surfing, ziplining, hiking, something like that. We're going to add in a splash of eating here or there, watching a bit of sport, put in an evening meal out, and maybe a trip to the cinema. Sundays, I'm also going to leave free for some events. Very optimistically going to put down going to the F1 somewhere exotic or heading to like a Premier League match or something. Big fan of sports, and up until a year ago I had no interest in F1 whatsoever. Then Drive to Survive came out and I was one of those F1 blow-ins who thinks he knows everything about the sport. And that's it. That's my dream week. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. I won't lie, this was really, really fun exercise. I thought about it before I came on as well. In case you're wondering, I came up with all that on the spot. I'm nowhere near that talented. But in all seriousness, when I first looked at this week from a practical perspective, I actually realised that there was a large amount of this that I'm already doing, right? Fair enough, the keynote speaker slots and the conferences, plunge pools and midweek golf sessions aren't in my current week, but there's nothing stopping me from doing alternatives or other necessities for the time being. Also, looking at this week, practically, obviously excluding maybe the F1 trips and the over exuberant daily lunches, the financial cost of doing 90% of these activities are actually not too much more than I'd spend in my week anyway. I realised that Tim Ferriss was right in what he said. We don't want to be millionaires, we just want to experience what we believe only millions can buy. Do I need a 300-foot yacht to be happy? Maybe. But it's not necessarily needed. I may be in a slightly unique position because I work for myself and my businesses are designed around so I can work remotely, but that doesn't mean you can't do it if you're in a 9-to-5 job. I won't go into detail about it now and mention it the third time, but Tim Ferriss also talks in his book The 4-Hour Workweek about how to achieve this lifestyle when you're working a 9-to-5. He talks about what's called the new rich, which are the people who not just have money but also have time to make use of their money. Actually, I'm going to give away a copy of this book, so comment below. I will put a date down below and I will pick one of you randomly by that date to be sent the book. If there's one thing I'd like you to take away from this video, it's to do what I just did and map out your dream week. See what tweaks you can make in your current schedule to include some aspects of it. See how far from reality this really is. In most cases, I think you'll realise that it's closer than you'll imagine. Let me know how you get on in the comments. You never know, it might encourage someone else to give it a try and it may change their life. If you like the content in this video, then you might also like this one I'm going to put up here, where I talk about the quitting framework that Stephen Bartlett, he's the youngest dragon ever on Dragon's Den, and he talks about it in his book Happy Sexy Millionaire. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really am curious if you like this form of content, so if you do, let me know in the comments. You'll also be entered in to win this book, and also it'd be great if you could subscribe if you haven't done it already. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Slán.